Beulah van der Westhuizen is a educational psychologist, and it is so important. We've been chatting to her earlier just about the reality of that massive gap with regard to primary school learners and how far they fell behind because of the pandemic. Beulah, in terms of just that, and we wanting to find solutions, what do parents and caregivers and teachers need to do?
Yes, Jonathan, I think first and foremost, they need to get together and not work
That's
separately.
good. That's so
Yes.
good.
That's the old saying that we need a community, we need a
Yeah.
village to raise our children. And I want to create the awareness in parents that the teachers are overburdened and very tired, and it's not their fault.
Say that again.
It's not their fault. Okay, they are working against a lot of odds. So if you have the capacity as a parent to go in and support in any way, say you've got an hour a week, offer that hour a week to your school, to your child's class teacher, and say, I will come in and I will read. That will alleviate such a lot of pressure in terms of the teacher, because there's, apart from teaching our children, they have a lot of administrative work that they need to do. And you know what? Teachers do not rest. They really do not rest, and they are underpaid. So if there's any way that you as a parent work together, I think that's the most important thing, is do not work against, work together. If there's a little group of children in the same grade, friends, have your play dates, but you can also combine something in terms of the play date. If there's a parent, a father that's really good with maths, do a short little session and then they all go and play. If you look for opportunity, if you look for problems, you will find the problems. But if you look for opportunities, you will find more opportunities actually than problems, because, so it is really about, I think, coming together. And as I've said earlier, to select the components in a curriculum that is really fundamental to a child's understanding. And not only that, that is the one component. And when we then focus on the academic, that's the easy part to focus on.
Yeah.
It's something that you can look at, you see it on paper. But what is more important than anything now is coping skills. And first and foremost, how we teach coping skills is how we cope ourselves. So if we are going to cope by blaming and naming and shaming, it's not the way to go. How do we demonstrate our coping mechanisms? Is to sit down and create an action plan. And an action plan for me is really to look at the overall curriculum, eliminate those things that's not important, agreed with the parents, agreed with the teachers if they can, and get the minimum there, so that we can slowly but surely start to catch up on the fundamental. And I want to reiterate the fundamental components that's really important.
And what would you say are those fundamental components that are really important?
Well, if you really go back to the basics, it's reading, writing, arithmetics. That's really the basics of anything.
Yeah.
That is what we need to learn. So if you've got those skills, you can actually gather any information. You can navigate yourself in life if you've got those three basic things. And then on top of that, it is the emotional stability component, which I think is crucially important, and actually more important than our ability to read and to write.
Yeah, that's good.
And if we don't get that right now, then children are going to walk with this, or try to navigate life with this event that has happened in their life, and what it has caused for years after this. Okay. So we need to pay attention to that, and we actually need to have conversations with our children to find out what they are carrying, So we as parents might have conversations with our friends and our peers, but do you ever have a conversation in terms of your child, in terms of how this has affected them?
Oh, good one.
What perception do they have of, again, life in the world as we know it, We seldomly ask our children, what do you think about this? How do you feel about this? And if you don't do that, you can't even begin to navigate that which you need to navigate. You can't even begin to put in place the things that children might need. They might just need the reassurance, a conversation, or they might need action in terms of having the routine there. Because one of the things that has been very disruptive was the fact that our normal day-to-day routine, went,
Got thrown out the
so
window.
exactly. So just by getting back into that and establishing a rhythm, because children like the rhythm and they like routine, that gives them that security. And we now slowly need to get out there and have that, get out into nature, do things as a family, and then do things as a community and friends. And as I say, if you as a parent have any capacity, and I know that as parents we also now need to catch up. We also have gaps. I mean, it's easy to read an article about schooling and the gaps, but there's also gaps in the work, gaps in our economic, financial component. So with an understanding of that, once again, if a community can come together and actually fill those gaps for one another, because we all have skills and we all have talents in different areas, and we do not have to keep those to ourselves. We can
Very
share.
good.
And once we start to share, it's a burden shared is a burden halved.
Yeah.
So if you have an hour, contribute that hour to the school. The teacher will be extremely grateful.
So good. Beulah, thank you so much for chatting to us. I think it's so important that people really proactively say we need to. So again, we all hate load shedding, but at times it can actually be a blessing, because now we don't sit and watch TV. We rather play games and we chat. So, and again, parents reading to their kids from an early age, it's so helpful and so good. I
think we've allowed a lot to be taken out of our hands, and we need to take some of that back and say the responsibility of my child's education is actually mine as a parent.
Very good. Very good.
It is actually mine as a parent.
Beulah, you are a very busy person, but I mean, again, if people need or want to connect with you, is there a way they can do that?
Yes, they can definitely just Google drbeulah.co.za, and then they'll find a little chat box and they can send information.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Beulah,
wonderful.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Enjoy your day.
You too.
Okay.